of all secular business. That is what they interpreted the Constitution of the United States of America to mean. There was a powerful sermon preached, and they missed it entirely. They put their own interpretations into it. All this is declared by unanimous decision of the Supreme Court of the United States to be the meaning of the Constitution of the United States. This too, to the utter oblivion of all the history of the making of that Constitution, in open contradiction of the specific terms of that Constitution, and in defiance of the clear intent of that Constitution as declared in the supreme law by those who made it. Now, A.T. Jones continues with this remarkable observation. Now, what was ever the papacy more than is this thing, which is established and justified in and by this decision? What more was ever required by the papacy and all phases of the older order of things than is allowed and justified in this decision? What more was ever required by the papacy itself than that the Christian religion should be made the national religion? That the discipline of the church should be maintained by the civil power? That the religious test oath should be applied to all? That the public should be taxed for the support of religion and religious teachers? That there should be required a belief in the doctrine of the Trinity and the inspiration of the Holy Scriptures of the Old and New Testaments? That the guilt of blasphemy should be inflicted upon everyone who should speak or act in contempt of the established religion? And that everybody should be required by law to observe Sunday? No more than this was ever required by the papacy, and in fact no more could be required, for this covers all. And by this decision, all this is justified in this government and is declared to be the meaning of the Constitution of the United States, but in favour of Protestantism. Have we looked the way marks are, or what? History was fulfilled. Prophecies were fulfilled, and who saw it? Who knew it? The light, Sister White says, was in a great degree kept away from the world. Not just the light of justification by faith, but the very cause of that intense need of justification by faith. After all, without a sense of need, who wants it? If we don't know where we are in Earth's history, who cares? Now, this decision that was made in this declaration by the High Court, a few months later, led to a Sunday law. There was at the time the World's Columbian Exposition of 1893, and the World Trade Fairs were a series of fairs. They were generally held in London and Paris and other major cities through the world. Now, this one was to be held in Chicago, and it was to be in celebration of the founding of America. Hence, it was the World Columbian Exposition. It was officially dedicated on October 1, 1892, but did not open for business until May 1st, 1893, because of delays in getting everything ready. Closed 6 months later, October 30th, 1893, and more than 27 million people had visited this fair and paid the 50 cents to get in. At that time, the US census stated that there was approximately 62 million people in America. So nearly half of the American people visited the World Trade Fair. And they didn't have cars and planes like we do today. America's a big country, and it snows in winter. It was considered the greatest event of its kind in history. However, due to the delay, the workers were encouraged to work 7 days. It was taking a little too long to be ready for opening. But the churches were not happy with opening it, having been encouraged to set up on Sunday. The Presbyterians refused to set up. And in their own words, they declined all contact with the sacrilegious and Sabbath-breaking exposition. Other church groups, along with them, took their case to Congress with millions of signatures expressing opposition to the fair being opened on Sunday. Congress conceded to their desires, and an act under which the appropriation of funds to support the fair was contingent that the exposition was closed to the public on Sunday. As the church's request, it was to be closed on Sunday. No admission on Sunday. And to enforce their desire, the government would give no financial aid to the exposition unless they adhered to that law.